Hello and welcome to part 24 of my Hogwarts MOC series. Today we're going to be taking a look at Filch's office. And there we go. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, then please leave a like down below and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh no, not that one. Okay, yep, fine. Okay, so yeah, this isn't the focus of the video today, but I thought it was worth pointing it out at the beginning. In the films, Filch's office is located in this little turret thing here, which sticks off either the side of the Great Hall or the side of the entrance courtyard. It moves around a bit between the films, but it's in roughly the right position for Half-Blood Prince. Now, obviously, as this is effectively a 4x4 cylinder, I wasn't going to be able to fit any interior in there. So I've decided to revisit an idea I had much earlier in the planning of Hogwarts and see if I can implement it, and that is to change what I originally referred to as the dungeon entrance. There is a previous video on it which I will link up there, and change it about a bit so that it becomes Filch's new office. Those of you who've got a good memory or who've just been back and watched that previous video might recognise this stained glass window just here, but that's pretty much it for what stayed the same. If I rotate this, you'll see that what was previously an empty sort of lobby space has been taken up with a wall and a door. It's meant that I've had to lose a couple of things that I had in here previously, such as this recolour of my Hogwarts brazier in light grey and dark grey, so I need to find a home for that. And I've also had to ditch what was on the back wall here, which was this little design. Now this comes from the Potions class Hogwarts Moment book, which is a really great little design, very emblematic of Slytherin House, which is why I put it outside the dungeons. But I think along with this, it's going to go into my Slytherin common room / house when I get round to building that. So I'll put those aside for now, have no fear, I am not going to lose those forever. The lighting is a little odd in here, and that was one of the main reasons why I didn't create Filch's office in here in the first place. That was one of my early ideas, was to put a small office or broom cupboard or something like that down here, although it's a very awkward shape to fit one in. The main reason I didn't was that that was before I made the buildings removable from the top, and therefore no light would have got in here, and literally the only way to see in would be through the door. I'll just open the door now so you can have a look inside. Again, there's not a huge amount of light that gets in there, and the camera might be having a little trouble focusing. Let's just see if I can get it to focus maybe on that feather just there. Still having a little bit of trouble, so what I'll end up doing is deconstructing the walls around it so you can see in better. But for now, you can just see the cluttered nature that I've tried to create in there. I think we only visit Filch's office really once, and so I was given a bit of creative license to do with it what I wanted to. I don't think it's actually meant to be in the dungeons, but I decided that since Filch is a sort of odious character, that the dungeons definitely reflected what his office would be like. Okay, I'm going to take the walls apart and show you a little bit more detail of what's inside. Not only have I taken off a very large chunk of wall, I've also removed the door and the arch that goes above it. Even then, I've had to put a desk light very close to it to get some illumination. In person, it actually shows up a lot better, but the camera's not picking it up for whatever reason. But anyway, now we can see inside, and you can see some of the details that I have added. Now, some of these things are inspired by the books directly, such as the handcuffs that I've got on the wall, and also the chain looping around the back. Those are inspired by the fact that Filch says he likes to keep the chains and things well oiled in case he needs to use them, which is it's quite dark, but you know, Harry Potter gets dark in places. So those are clipped in, and actually that one is round a broom. That was kind of inspired by Umbridge having Harry, Fred and George's brooms locked up. Obviously Filch didn't do that, but I thought, you know, those two are thick as thieves, so why not include that little detail. Thinking of Umbridge, I've also got one of her educational decrees up against the wall. I'll just pop that out if I can. There we go. Now this is exactly the same as the build that I've used in my Great Hall, and I just had some duplicate stickers, so I decided to put the one saying that Umbridge had been appointed High Inquisitor, because I thought that would be a little memento that Filch would want to save, and stick in pride of place just in front of his desk. Also got a lantern, as Filch is always carrying one of those around that can just sit on his desk. Got a quill there in a little inkwell, a teacup, a small little sort of lantern behind there, just a very simple build with a few pieces. I've also got a candle on the wall opposite, and It's almost right next to a stick of dynamite, which I'm going to assume is some sort of joke from Zonko's or Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, that it's not actually real dynamite. I don't think wizards would need dynamite with the magic they've got. Also got a couple of keys. There's one just there, and there's another one which is actually clipped onto the inside of the door frame top. So there's a couple of keys for Filch to use. There's also a couple of bottles on the floor. You can decide yourself what those contain. In the back there, we've got a wooden filing cabinet, which is again something that is described in the book. It's just a very simple build using headlight bricks and jumper plates. The drawers don't open, obviously, and I might try in future to change that so one of the drawers looks like it's open. I have got a couple of Marauder's map tiles, both old versions and the two new ones, the one that's on a 2x3 tile and the one that's on a 2x2, and I did think about putting them in the office as well, as that's where Fred and George get the Marauder's map from in the first place. So maybe I'll do that in the future, maybe not. Just a goblet up on top of there. And then in the back, we've got a couple of older printed tiles, which I'm not sure if they originated with Harry Potter, but they were definitely used within the theme, and they're both sort of magical. So perhaps the one up there is the Quickspell course letter, or part of the Quickspell course, which Filch tries to take in order to make himself into a real wizard. It's quite a sad little story, actually. Feel a bit sorry for Filch if he wasn't such a... Yes. Anyway, that's pretty much all the details for inside there. As you can see, there's really not a lot of space, and I had to work quite hard to make sure everything fit in properly. Oh yes, of course, there's a sword up there, as, you know, if Filch is going to have torture devices, then why not have a sword in pride of place? On the outside here, we've got a small painting. This comes from the sticker sheet, again, for the Potions class Hogwarts Moment set. I've just cut it out and put on a 2x3 tile. That was originally against this wall here when the area inside was empty, and I figured why not keep it. It's just attached using a modified brick with a single stud. Means I can just put it at a bit of a wonky angle just to give it a little bit of character. Okay, that about wraps it up for Filch's office. It's a very small build, and I just did it with pieces I already had. So it was a nice little space filler, and something which I think makes the entire place look a lot nicer. So I'll put this back together, and then I think I'm just going to show a couple of amendments that I've made, especially using pieces that came in the recent wave of sets. I haven't gone about building my Chamber of Secrets yet, because I'm not at that stage in the castle, but I have implemented the things that I've been able to. There it is all back together, and I thought I'd just give you one final shot of it with the light coming from above so you can actually see in through the door, and then we can just close in on up. And you still even get a view through the lattice window there. So I think that looks really nice. It wasn't something I was particularly planning on from the beginning, but it's something I'm glad I was able to implement. Okay, on to those amendments. Starting with the Grand Staircase Tower, I've used the bookshelf from the Hogwarts Students Pack to put in there so that this floor's got a bit of detail. So it's pretty much the same as it was. I've just removed the feet and replaced them with tiles. Just remove this so you can see, just so it can be put in at an angle. Also created a small bust of a knight. That's just filling the space in the corner there. Very simple build. And then I've swapped out the panel piece, which makes up that side of the wall, for one with a sticker on the inside. So it gives a little bit of character and some detail to this floor. I'm not saying it's 100% finished, but it's nice to have more detail, and now every floor, except for the ground floor, has got detail on. Speaking of which, I've continued to detail the trophy room. In this case, it was swapping out a few pieces that I already had with some that came in the first flying lesson set. So for instance, on this table, if I don't drop it, we've got the quaffle in the bell jar, which I've just put on a 2x2 round plate, and I've also swapped what was a gold nugget piece for this trophy using the paddle piece. Still not 100% convinced by it, but I thought it was important to get some of those details in. The other thing that I've done in here is to swap the older shield for the one that came again in that set, the James Potter shield, and I've swapped out the brown cheese slopes underneath it for ones in sand blue, just because now the shield is brown. I just wanted to make it stand out a little better. I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep it this way, although this shield has the benefit of not having a trademark logo on it, which the other one does, which is a little bit ridiculous. The only other thing I've changed in the tower is just to remove the tiles that were on the floor of this floor here, and I just did that because I took another look at it and figured that I wasn't 100% happy with them. The other amendments I've made are in the Great Hall. You can see just here that I have used this banner, which has all 4 Hogwarts houses. In fact, it's the Hogwarts crest, which came in the Chamber of Secrets set. Originally, there were just the 4 house banners in here, but I've moved them around so they're all equally spaced and have room for that one in the middle. You can just see the Gryffindor banner behind Nick. This is still the old version of Nick, which I think I do prefer, to be honest, especially since I added a ruff to him. So I'll put the glow-in-the-dark Nick somewhere else in the castle. The other changes are relatively minor, in that I've just added the 2 boxes of cereal, which I thought were absolutely fantastic. That's just such a good little Easter egg, and it adds a splash of bright colour. And then the final thing is to change Dumbledore's lectern. Now, I originally said I would probably keep my own design, but looking again at this mould, I think it is really just perfect. Obviously, it was used for that purpose in the Chamber of Secrets set. I needed to design a better stand for it, and this is what I've come up with. I actually showed how to build this on my Instagram. It's not very complicated though. It's basically just held together with a bar, and then this is a candle piece. So I was very happy that this is a build that actually is legal and works, and I think looks really nice when popped just in front of Dumbledore here. Obviously this is the wrong Dumbledore, if you want to say like that, to make a speech, but I think it looks really nice, and I'm very happy with the overall effect. Okay, this really is the end of the video this time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like to see more of my content, then please subscribe to the channel. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed it, and if you comment, I will try my very best to respond to you. New videos will be coming later in the week, and I'm going to try and stick to my 2 videos a week schedule, which seems to be working quite well. I'm going to be doing more reviews of the 2021 sets very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.